In the middle of an ancient forest shrouded in mist, two naked figures walk slowly. No houses, no tools, only sunlight filtering through the leaves and the gentle sound of wind blowing through the branches. A man and a woman, primitive, pure. Adam sat alone in the quiet forest, the sunlight on his face, lonely and empty. All around him were animals, but none like him. And then from his own rib Eve was created. The divine light surrounded her body like a sacred birth. Adam was fast asleep when Eve opened her eyes for the first time, a look of curiosity, fear, and boldness. They walked hand in hand through the garden filled with flowers. No words were spoken, but each step spoke of an unbreakable bond. Between them was a sparkling apple. A primitive man returns from the forest, carrying the carcass of an animal on his shoulders. His eyes stop at the woman waiting by the fire in the cave. No one says anything, but his return is proof of their bond. Inside the cave on the cliff are crude drawings, hands, fire, and two figures standing side by side in the sun. They sleep side by side under the animal skins, the firelight reflecting on their peaceful faces in the cold night. The woman shares meat with the child in the cave, while the man sharpens his stone knife. In a dark room with only the flickering light of a fire, a hand is meticulously carving on a clay tablet. This one takes that one as wife. The other agrees. The village witnesses. A Mesopotamian marriage ceremony is taking place. Two people standing before the village chief, holding clay tablets as proof. Those clay tablets are carefully stored in the archives, side by side like wordless love stories. Next to them, in an Egyptian palace, a young princess stands before the throne, holding a letter from the Hittite dynasty. Her face is a mixture of duty and regret. On ancient maps, kingdoms are connected by wedding rings instead of swords. Marriages quell wars, and sometimes start new ones. In the snow, a Chinese princess is taken into a carriage to marry the Xiongnu leader on the border. In the royal wedding, the two young people sit side by side, their eyes never meeting but still touching hands in ritual. There are old kings who marry their granddaughters, to keep their blood, to keep their power. On the stone statue, a young girl is pushed by her parents towards an older man. The wedding is full of gold and silver, but her eyes are sad. Elsewhere, a strong woman stands in the middle of a crowd of men, pointing at the one she has chosen. The light of power shines from her weak hand. There are those who are not chosen, and they run away. A bride in a torn dress rushes into the forest at night, running away from her preordained fate. A mother holds her child in a thatched hut, her husband gone, a life of silent sacrifice. But there are, in the middle of a modern crowded street, a young couple holds hands, smiling in the city lights. In a peaceful park, two men in white suits exchange wedding rings amid family applause. An old couple sits reading a book together, the sunlight shining on their silver hair. A girl stands alone in the mirror, her wedding dress gorgeous, her eyes full of confidence. A picture of time drawn from Adam and Eve to modern couples, the eras connected by the thread of marriage. And then a blank page opens. I do, with my marriage is not limited to one culture, one religion, or one era. It transcends time, borders, and all moral systems that have changed over the centuries. In ancient India, couples circled a fire 7 times, each time a vow to live together for life. In Japan they were married under the witness of Shinto, where marriage was the union of heaven, earth, and man. In medieval Europe, marriage was political. A queen might have to give up her crown just to follow her heart, to love a soldier under her command. Meanwhile, in the deep Amazon, women chose their husbands, and that choice was not for the weak. In the Himalayas, there are places where a woman married many husbands, to protect the land, protect the house, and keep warm during the long winter. Each form is a way to preserve the bond, in its own circumstances, in its own aspirations. Love, across all its many forms, finds expression in marriage, whether it is gentle, fierce, or quiet. When all the church bells have fallen. When the legal tablets have melted into the sand. When the wedding flowers have fallen all over the path. Marriage still exists. Not in the form of papers, rituals, or traditions, but in its simplest form, an unspoken promise. In a small apartment in the middle of the city, an old couple sits silently next to each other. They don't have much left to tell. But every breath, every look, is a trace of the years they have not been apart. A young woman stands in front of the mirror in her wedding dress. No one forced her to get married. No one chose her husband for her. But she chose with her heart. A man who was divorced, had a broken heart, had vowed to live alone, suddenly one day gently says to someone, "Let's try again?" Marriage today is not easier. It still has pressure, fatigue, misunderstandings, and even breakups. but it is more honest, because we are chosen. And when chosen, every commitment is beautiful, even if it's not complete. Perhaps in the end, marriage isn't about saying yes. It's about the moment after, when life rushes by and we still whisper, "I'll stay. I'm still holding your hand." And if people still dream, then in those dreams, there is still marriage. A strange girl dreams of herself in a wedding dress, walking in the middle of a foggy forest. There is no groom. There are no guests. But her heart is warm as if she is waiting. A man who has been a widower for 20 years, one night dreams of his wife, still in the same dress, still smiling, making coffee in the old kitchen. Do you still drink black coffee? There are people who wake up in the middle of the night, their hearts pounding, not remembering what the dream said, but knowing that someone once held their hand in their dreams. There are souls who meet in dreams, not once, but many times, as if they belong to each other in some other life. No papers. No names. No vows. Just the feeling, we used to belong to each other. Perhaps the first marriage of mankind, not in books, not carved in stone, but in a dream. That humanity is still dreaming together, still not awake. We have told of the first marriage, of two souls in the Garden of Eden. We have gone through time, through fire and water, through war and peace, through rituals and silent embraces. And finally we return to where we began, the heart. Marriage, though it is called in 100 languages, practiced in 1,000 customs, is still the same thing, the desire not to be alone. Not everyone gets married. Not everyone stays married. But everyone has dreamed of someone who will not turn away when the night is cold. Someone who will sit quietly beside you without saying anything. Someone who, even if they disappear in real life, will remain in your memory with a scent, a sound, or a fleeting glance. And if marriage was the first fire that man kindled amid the wind and thunder, today it still burns, small, just enough to light the hand that holds yours. Even if the world changes, even if humanity leaves Earth, flies into the stars, we will continue this. Find someone to love. Find someone to stay. And in a silent universe, the last promise of humanity, maybe not a word, but a look, a touch, or a smile before closing our eyes and saying to each other, "See you again."